The moral fabric of the United States as it exists today is a complex and often contradictory tapestry, one that reveals deep tensions between the country's founding ideals and its lived reality. To compare what it is to what it's supposed to be but never was, we must examine the ideas on which America claimed to be built: liberty, justice, equality, democracy, against the systemic inequities that have long defined and continue to define its institutions. Now,
we were founded on a very basic double standard. This country was founded by slave owners who wanted to be free. Am I right? A group of slave owners who wanted to be free. So they killed a lot of white English people in order to continue owning their black African people, so they could wipe out the rest of the red Indian people and move west and steal the rest of the land from the brown Mexican people, giving them a place to take off and drop their nuclear weapons on the yellow Japanese people. You know what the motto of this country ought to be? You give us a color, we'll wipe it out.
Now, unfortunately, people may not like that, but it's the truth. To see the founding ideals versus the historical reality, supposed to be the United States declared itself a beacon of freedom and democracy, rooted in Enlightenment values that promised inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everybody except the red people, the yellow people, and especially the black people. The Constitution claimed to form a more perfect union, offering justice, domestic tranquility, and the general welfare of all. So that's what slavery is? The rule of law was meant to be blind, treating all citizens equally regardless of wealth or status. And see, today, it's more about wealth and status. And most people are finally seeing that. But what it never was, the very men who wrote those words could not uphold the tenets of what democracy held up. Was the foundation of what supposedly the Constitution was built on, because they executed genocide of indigenous people and the exclusion of women and the poor from political power. Justice was never blind. It was designed to protect property and privilege, not marginalize people. America's founding democracy was reserved for the white, landowning men, and women got in on it later. Everyone else was either excluded, exploited, or criminalized. I tell you, this man puts it much better than me.
There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on. The fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
So there it is. And today, our moral fabric gives us the illusion of equality, which persists in language, but reality is inequality, which defines the life that we are in. It's power without accountability. Government officials, judges, and the elite operate with virtual impunity. I mean, take for granted. Look at our president, judges, legislature. I mean, every now and then, one or two of them will get caught, but the majority of the system is favored for the people with privilege, billionaires, millionaires. So Supreme Court justices accept luxury gifts from billionaires, presidents pardon cronies, and cronies seem like the American public. We pardon presidents. CEOs destroy lives and receive bonuses. Exploitation of the many for the few. The political system increasingly serves corporate donors and lobbyists, not voters, who the people are supposed to have the power, but you can see you have none. Economic policies funnel wealth upward, not downward. Healthcare, housing, and education are privileges, not rights. Millions live paycheck to paycheck while billionaires grow richer during crisis. Selective law and order, the legal system is swift and harsh on the poor, especially the black and brown, yet lenient and indulgent to the powerful and the white. Justice often means incarceration for minor offenses for the poor, but rehabilitation for the rich and the privileged. Who suffer? Why do they suffer? The moral decay is not accidental. It is the logical outcome of a system built on inequality, but dressed up in noble words. The system was corrupted. It was constructed this way. The suffering of the masses isn't an unfortunate side effect. It is the engine of the national and wealth and control. The nation's wealth and control. Elections mean nothing when both parties are the same party. Courts feel illegitimate when judges legislate from the benches for special interests. Laws are cruel, which survival is criminalized and privilege is protected. What the moral fabric was supposed to be? Justice, democracy, equality. What do you have? Not wealth, not power,